Hey, welcome to Cooking with Ranger Rob. Grab your aprons and let's get started, guys. Before we get started, please take the time to subscribe, then click on the bell icon to get notified of our future videos. Hello cookers and future cookers, this is Cooking with Ranger Rob, and today I'm going to try something new again, and we're going to do French onion soup. I love French onion soup, and so I always wanted to make it, so I'm going to make it. The one thing I'm going to do different is, it's not different, but not everybody does it, is I'm going to add a little bit of beef, little pieces of beef in my onion soup part. Not a whole lot, just a little bit for more texture. And I'm using a French bread, small, cut it up and then toast it a little bit. But the cheese I'm going to use is Swiss and provolone, I think it's how you say it. Anyway, you know what I mean. So guys, enjoy. We're going to make French onion soup for the first time. The mission of this channel is to get people cooking again and making it fun. So it's actually kind of exciting that if this turns out well, which most likely will, it's going to be really special. So guys, teenagers, young adults, whoever, quit cooking the same old stuff and that instant this and instant that. I've been showing you shortcuts to save on cutting up vegetables and things like that. Today I got to cut up, unfortunately, 5 yellow onions, so be it. And of course an airplane goes over when I'm doing this, but hey, that's how it works every time. So guys, let's get going. Let's make some French onion soup. Well, the main thing we got to do is cut up some onions. So I'm going to use 5 yellow onions today. I am going to cut them French style, which means they're kind of like French fries, and just put them in a bowl here and set them aside till I'm ready to cook. So by the way, cutting these onions, I was told not to cut off the root side, and it helps hold the onion together. So you'll notice I left it on when I was doing this. And a phenomenon happened to me too. That's a lot of onions to cut while I was doing this, and my eyes were just burning. So I can understand how people say, yeah, onions make me cry. I can see why. Man, that was something else. I don't have any trouble with 1 onion, but when you do 5 onions, yeah. I also hope for those people that don't cook a lot and are not one of those fancy people with the knives, that I just do the best I can and I cook. So don't let that stop you. The next thing that'll start coming to mind, you go, man, this is a lot of onions, but it's not. It will burn down. So don't worry about how many onions you got. Fill that bowl up. It's going to shrink down to hardly anything. So, but your cooking bowl when you first start is going to be stuffed. But don't worry about it. There's no doubt that I should become a ninja. See, a lot of onions there. Yep. So cover them up, put them off to the side. We have more work to do. Today I'll be using 2 pans, one to cook up my beef, the little nuggets of beef I'm going to do, and this is where my soup is going to reside. And got my onions all cut up, and next step is to sweat down the onions to a nice golden brown. So that's the goal, and then we'll be adding some beef stock, some beef, and season it in a little bit of thyme. So I'll show you that as we go. 2 more items I wanted to point out to you is I'm going to use these little bowls I got from Costco. They're stoneware, and I think this will work really good. I think it'll hold up to the heat. And also the bread, or what they call a croissant, that's going to go on the top. I bought a French baguette bread. This is really small. I'll show you the end here. And I'm going to cut those into little slices. I'm going to brown them, grill them just to make them toasty, I'll be using just butter. I'm not using garlic butter. And that's what's going to go on top of my French onion soup. So here we go. Okay guys, one more note. First of all, this is the beef I'm going to use. You can see it's a not expensive meat at all. It's already cut up and it saves me a lot of trouble. I don't think I'll use all of it, probably half of it. And the other thing is to cook the onions, it's going to take quite a while to sweat them down to golden brown. So give yourself time, give yourself a half hour or better to just cook down your onions. Then once your onions are cooked down, we're going to be adding a little bit of white dry wine to help make all the shavings and the things that have kind of cooked off the onions get off the pan and mix in better. And you want to make sure you burn off the alcohol. And the other thing is, once you get your onions cooked and in your beef stock and stuff, it's important to let it simmer for as long as you can. So I'm going to give mine about an hour, hour and a half to just simmer and let the flavors of everything get into the onions. It's all about the broth and the onions. So to put them in the oven, that's the easy part. You just put your bread on, your cheese on, and use your broiler, and that'll go fast. It's the onions that's going to take time. So give yourself lots of time to do this particular recipe. So let's get started. I'm going to brown my meat right now. So we're starting off with a little bit of butter, and then I add a little bit of olive oil to it so the butter doesn't burn. Time to add the beef. I use about half the package, and I'm just going to get these browned up and set them aside when I'm done. It doesn't take very long to cook these. And also don't forget to season them. I did salt and pepper and garlic. Alright, those are done. Pulling them off the pan, and we'll set them aside. And more tin foil. Time to tackle the onions. Yep, this big old bowl of onions. Let's start dumping them in. Yes, it looks like a lot of onions, but you'll cook down, so don't worry about it. Just fill that pot. And we start stirring, and it's kind of hard at first, but try to get the bottom ones up to the top and just keep rotating and work it down. If you notice, you can see that the pile is starting to go down a little lower each time I show you here. Just keep stirring, just keep stirring. Time to add a little salt and pepper. I think I did 3 pinches here. And yep, there's the third one. And start stirring again. Time for about a teaspoon of minced garlic. Just let her rip, guys. Well, I've been cooking down the onions here. I have added salt and pepper and some garlic. You can see it's gone down quite a bit in how much room it's taken in the pot. And basically I'm just cooking it down, and this takes a little while. And then we'll be adding some more magical ingredients. But right now we're trying to get it down to a golden brown, so we'll keep working on it. Our next step is to introduce some sugar, some flour, some white wine, and some beef stock as we go. Here we're adding the sugar, which will help make them golden and sweeten it up a little bit.
And we're back to stirring and mixing, stirring and mixing.
Alright guys, we're starting to get to our golden brown here. I just added a little bit of sugar because now I'm working on getting that nice golden glaze. And then more magic will happen after that. So just got to be patient. This is taking a while. Something I want to show you really quick is as you're cooking, you're going to start getting a glaze at the bottom of the pan. And you'll get more and more of that. And the way you're going to get that back into the onions is we're going to be adding some dry white wine to this to get all that off the pan, back into the onions, and then we'll add our broth.
Time to add the wine, and you will see how the wine will actually make it easier to get all those remnants off the side of the pan and the bottom and mix it back into the onions.
Now you can see how the wine is taking that right off the pot. See how clear it's getting? And all that's going to get mixed in back into the onions. So yeah, I'm just going to burn off the alcohol, and then I'm going to add flour so I make a really light roux. We want our soup or our onion soup to have a little bit of little thickness to it, not very much. Don't put too much flour in.
Here I'm just adding my flour, and I put in enough where I got everything a little bit pasty. Here I'm adding my 4 cups of beef stock, and now it's starting to look like onion soup. Also adding 1 cup of water. Now about a teaspoon of thyme. And we begin to mix again and stir, and we'll be doing this a lot.
Okay guys, at this point, when you got all your stock in, a little bit of water, what we're going to do is slow cook this for a good hour or more. And what you want to do at this point is do little taste tests and see if it's flavored the way you want. I add a little salt and pepper to mine, a little bit more garlic powder, and I think I got it where I want, but I'm going to let this simmer for another half hour or so. Keep doing taste tests and get it the way you want it, but I would be careful not to make it too salty, because remember, you got cheese is kind of salty on it, so you definitely want that onion taste to come through. So yeah, slow process, be patient.
So after my taste test, I decided to add a little bit more salt and pepper. I also decided I needed a little more salt, and I didn't need the pepper anymore, so this is a little more kosher salt I decided to add. And we stir again. Now I'm satisfied with the taste. I'm putting a lid on it and going to let it cook for a while. Now it's time to make my croissants. So I'm just cutting up little pieces. I figured 4 main ones for each bowl, and then some extras to fill in the cracks and crevices. I'm just going to put butter on these on both sides, and then eventually take them over to a pan and fry them and get a nice golden look on both sides of it, just for, you know, crunchiness. Now I'm just buttering the back sides of these, trying to do it in a way where I don't make a mess on all over, but it came out alright. I kind of stacked them, and that kind of kept me from making too big a mess. Just finishing up here, just about done, and then we're going to go over to the stove again. And back at the stove, we throw in a little bit of butter and get ready to put a little bit of cooking oil on there too. Stir it all up and get ready to add our bread. So just think of this as making little grilled cheese sandwiches. Basically, I was just trying to get them golden brown on both sides. Didn't take very long. Don't let your pan get too hot or you're going to burn them. Ah, look at that, golden brown. That looks beautiful. So just kind of be careful. Make sure they all get golden brown. Take them off before you burn them. Now, don't those look pretty? Don't worry, I didn't forget about the meat. I'm putting that in at the end here because it was already cooked. Start stirring and let them sit in the pot for a while too. So these are the cheeses that I'm going to use, provolone and also Swiss cheese. I'm using 2 pieces of the provolone and 1 piece of Swiss cheese. Pretty easy process. But it's time to add the soup. So after an hour or so, go grab your pot, start adding your soup to each bowl. Make sure you leave room for your croutons or your bread and your cheese. And let me tell you, by the way, this smells wonderful. If you like the smell of cooked onions and a little beefiness, yeah, it was nice. Also note that it's good to put a cookie sheet underneath this in case the cheese gets out of control and spills over. You'll be glad you did. Okay, it's time to add our bread, and I got like 4 whole pieces in there, and then my extras I broke them up and kind of filled in the gaps. Trust me, no one's going to really see it anyway. It's going to be covered with cheese pretty soon here, but this looks so delicious. Heck, those little toasts look yummy. Here we go. We're going to start adding the cheese. So first provolone, and then after that we put Swiss on top of that and get it fitted on there just perfect. And then 1 more piece of the provolone cheese. And I know I'm not saying it right, sorry, but you know what I mean. Anyway, and then we're set to go. Got to do a glam shot before we put it in the oven. So set your oven at low broil, put them on in there, and then you want to monitor them. So turn on the light to your oven and watch the cheese and get it to where you want it. After 10-15 minutes, voila, look at that. It's beautiful. And glam shot. Here comes the glam shot. Oh man, those look so good.
Alrighty. Here we are again. I did not mess up the kitchen as bad as the last time. So today was my very first onion soup and French onion soup. So you gonna try it first?
Go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna try it. You try it.
No, you try it.
I'm not gonna try it. You try it.
Okay, let's get Cinder.
Cinder will do it. Alright. Yum. Oh, that looks hot.
It's very hot. And it's cheesy.
It's supposed to be cheesy. Yes, there's beef in it.
I'm gonna burn my mouth. Munchies.
Here's the test.
It's hot.
Is it good?
It's good.
All right, my turn. Should I get some? All right, here we go, guys. It is very hot. Yum. Oh my god, that's good.
That's good.
It's really good. Guys, I recommend you got to make this. Yes, it takes a little bit more time and patience, but it's worth it. So, thanks for watching. Give this a try. Start cooking, guys. Talk to you later.
Thank you for watching our video. Please take the time to like, subscribe, and share our videos all over. Then go down to the description and think about becoming a member of our Patreon. This will allow you to get special content just for you and help us build future content. Thank you.